Here's a segment from the latest edition of St. Charles Parish Today, a monthly local talk show. This spring, St. Charles Parish residents will be subject to a handful of new regulations recently enacted by the Parish Council regarding construction debris and cuttings from landscaping and yard cleanup activities. These new rules detail exactly what the garbage contractor will be responsible for picking up and how residents should handle debris from renovation and construction activities. All residents will receive a mailer outlining the new rules and frequently asked questions regarding garbage pickup. Here to talk about the new rules is Public Works Administrative Assistant Chandra Sampe. Thank you so much for being on the show today.
Hi, thank you.
So first of all, the main idea of these new rules is to more clearly define what the residential garbage contractor picks up and what the residents have to pick up themselves. So can you give us kind of the quick overview of the new rules and what residents should know?
Correct. The council has recently passed a new residential debris ordinance. You can't put out any more than 10 cubic yards at one time for service with the boom truck. This measures approximately 3 feet wide by 3 feet high by 27 feet across. That's the basic measurements for 10 cubic yards of debris. None of the pieces of wood or limbs can be any larger than 36 inches in circumference. Anything over that, you either have to cut it smaller and put it out for service, and if you're going to cut down like an entire tree at one time, more than likely it's going to be more than 10 cubic yards, so you will need to make other arrangements. You will need either a dumpster, or per se, if it was a tree company, they will be responsible for hauling it away.
Right, and that's what I'm going to move on to, is those tree companies. So we know in the past, residents have been used to kind of either cutting down their own trees or having a company come in and cut down a tree and having the parish contractor come in and pick up that debris. So that's changed now. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
It has been very, very common practice for a tree removal company to go out, offer the resident to cut down their tree, but leave it curbside for the solid waste provider to pick it up. Our solid waste provider is 100% responsible for your household garbage, small clippings, yard waste, things of that nature. They are not a debris removal company. The broom truck is actually specified in the contract. It is a bulk item, like large sofas, furnitures, freezers, or a larger tree trunk that is just one item that they can pick up. So yeah, they're actually not contracted to pick up complete huge debris piles. They're not a debris hauler. They are a household garbage solid waste provider.
Right, and that's kind of the bottom line with this is, like you say, they're supposed to pick up one type of item, and they've been kind of doing all of it. So now it more clearly defines what their responsibilities are. So another part of the new ordinances deals with increasing the penalties for people who might block drainage canals or ditches with debris or trash. The same goes for roadways and passageways. Can you talk to us a little bit more about those new penalties and the stiffer fines?
Right. They also passed that along with these new ordinances. Any resident that places their tree debris or any type of debris within a ditch that can block drainage and cause flooding, they can be penalized up to $500. They could serve up to 6 months in jail, or whatever restitution payment that the courts would deem necessary, paid back to Public Works for their efforts in having to go out and remove that debris.
Right. And while we're on this topic too, I want to bring up, if a resident is found to be in violation of any of these ordinances, how is the notification done for that? Because obviously, the parish is not going to go out and say, hey, you're in violation, and all of a sudden give you a penalty. You do have some time to be in compliance with them.
Right. The parish will be notifying all residents when they're out of violation. We leave the ordinance with them. We first go out and leave them an ordinance. They will be notified by letter that they are in violation of this ordinance, and they'll have 2 weeks from the date of that letter to comply with the ordinance, or it will be handed over to the sheriff's office and the district attorney's office for further investigation and penalization.
Okay, all right. Well, finally, we were kind of talking about vegetative debris and tree debris before. The council also passed some new regulations with regard to debris from projects such as renovation projects, construction projects. What do people need to know about that?
If you're doing a renovation project or construction, you will need to obtain a dumpster. It's your responsibility to have that dumpster on site. There are some situations where the debris can be hauled off daily. If you sign up for that it's hauled off daily, they will have an inspector, a code enforcer, that will check it daily to make sure that your debris is removed. If it's a much smaller, like I'm just replacing the toilet in my bathroom or just part of my cabinets, you will be able to give them an alternative means of how you're going to get rid of that. Per se, like if you're just putting your toilet out, well, the garbage company will take those type of items. So you do have choices, and there are ways to put it out that you will be within the guidelines to use the actual residential solid waste provider.
Right, and it's important to note too that that's all part of the permitting process. When you go, if you're going to do a construction or a major renovation, you have to say what your plan is as part of that permit.
Absolutely, you must go in and apply for a permit to do any type of construction or remodeling.
All right. Is there anything else you'd like to add on this topic, considering you do run the contract monitor's office, which is the office that gets all the complaints and issues from residences about residential garbage in the parish?
Right. I would also like to add that just as a reminder to the residents, the actual contract, it does state that all household garbage and items must be bagged within a garbage bag and tied off before it's placed into a cart container. This stops a lot of that overflow. As they go to empty the container, loose items are falling out all over the streets and the grounds, and it's because it's not bagged. And their policy, it has to be bagged and it has to be contained, and that's where a lot of that extra loose debris items you see out on the ground come from, is because people are just throwing into their cans without bagging it. So I would just like to remind them to please bag it if they can, even if it's just a Walmart or Winn-Dixie bag tied in a knot. That works just as well. So
what do you want people to know about the garbage contractor in general, and also give them your phone number so they can make sure to let you know what's going on out there if they have issues?
If you have hopper issues where you think they're dropping stuff on the ground, or they're not placing your cart back where you put it, call us and let us know that, so we can document each and every episode, and we go out and we take pictures of every complaint and we file it with the company. They are a hopper service. There's going to be issues when we're servicing 20,000 homes and residencies, but keep us informed. Let us know of those issues. Another thing that helps the hoppers, when you put out your garbage can, I just wanted to mention, if you place your cans curbside with the handles facing the street, that will stop the hoppers. A lot of times people face it the other way and they'll grab them by the lid and turn it around, and a lot of those lids get ripped off. Just anything we can do to help you. We will come out with the new ordinance. We will come out, we'll walk you through it. We'll show you what you can and cannot do. We're here to help. We're here to serve you. Keep us informed and we'll keep you informed. And hopefully this will be a smooth transition.
Okay, and what's that phone number?
It's 985-331-8604.
All right, very good. Well, I appreciate you coming on the show today. It's kind of a change, but I think it's going to make things a lot easier and make sure that neighborhoods get cleaner faster.
Much easier. And let me just mention, this is way behind. We're catching up with all the surrounding parishes. They've all had this in place for many, many years. It's just time to get on the road to where everything runs smoothly and works more like clockwork. And there won't be so many issues out there, and there won't be so many debris piles that sit out there longer than 2 to 3 weeks.
Right, exactly. All right. Well, thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you.
Watch the entire episode at www.scptoday.com or on SCP TV.